Hello guys, and welcome back to Power and Revolution 2020 edition. If you cannot tell what happened last episode, you need to look at the map a little closer. As you can see, we've conquered Egypt. A lot of my units that the AI forced out of their bases are still out here. I haven't gotten around to really finding all of them yet. My solar plants are still being dismantled, which is something I started doing last episode. There are so many units out here. I also noticed a whole bunch of refugees over here are heading to a refugee camp down here, which I don't know when this was set up, but it's probably going to disappear before they ever reach it, because apparently the amount of citizens from Aleppo actually overfills this refugee camp. I never thought of clicking on it and kind of realizing that, so I guess I'll make another refugee camp up by Aleppo in order to take care of any refugees that are from there so that they don't have to run across the country, because refugees die in mass when running through the map. I've also gone ahead and I've taken the satellite from Egypt and I've started moving it down south to peek at Sudan, and I know we have an absolute ton of agents to reassign. We have 100 agents to reassign. So who are we bordering? Who are we at a potential of going to war with? Well, Sudan is definitely, near the top of the list there. We have another 15 agents that we can distribute as well. Jordan was a potential target next, also because I just wanted to fill in the shape, before we got Egypt. Still want to fill in the shape because it would keep Jerusalem a little safer. So I'm going to keep those in Jordan. After that, you know what? I'm really not sure. Maybe I want to set something up in Libya. Maybe I don't want to go into Libya while they have this massive rebellion going on, which frankly I'm not even quite sure if the rebellion's winning. They definitely have more power on the side of the rebellion. Balance of fighting is nearly even. Ooh, it is a deadly rebellion here. 83,000 deaths on Libya's side and close to that in terms of the rebels. I think I will probably stay out of Libya for the time being, meaning Sudan becomes the next logical choice. Eritrea is there, Saudi Arabia is over here. All good choices. I don't think I have anyone in Iraq, but I didn't plan on attacking Iraq anytime soon. So we have 100 in Sudan, Saudi Arabia, and Eritrea. Okay, so let's get 10 more into Eritrea. And then let's toss the final 5. Oh, actually, I already have troops in Libya. Would you look at that? I did not know I actually had that. And they're just approaching terrorist groups, because I've been trying to contact that terrorist group that's there to no avail, though. So I guess I'll just change them back to cyber attack, give them 5, confirm that. One thing that happened last episode that I didn't really mention was we had a whole bunch of oil wells being constructed over here. Well, they're all done, as you can see. They don't produce a whole lot, but they're all done. They're all placed on, I believe, good location, so it's something. I haven't actually taken a look at it yet, so let's take a look together. If we go to the oil industry, we can find, this is the one that's glitched out. This is our trade balance. Production is correct. This is our initial trade balance, so ignore that. But everything else here is correct. Our profits are up. Our sales are up. Let's take a look. Yep, production, everything going up, except balance of trade could be doing better. It's constantly going down, I guess, because our usage is increasing, but we have built a ton more. Our trade balance is still better than it was at the beginning of the game, but clearly we need more oil. As it stands, our economic problems from 2 episodes ago do not actually exist anymore. Sure, our growth is only 2.15%, but our unemployment is down to 2.42%. Our unemployment has to get a lot worse for us to need more growth at this point. But I gotta keep an eye on it because I don't really know which direction it's trending. Let me take a look. I know it has been trending back up a little bit by the looks of it. Unemployment rate. As you'll see, it dove down the moment we took Egypt, and it's been slowly kind of working its way back up. Probably because a lot of our spending here has been reduced. So much has been reduced, in fact. Actually, on the same screen, if you go to legislation, we will find that everything here is different. Now, you remember, guys, I got this down to 12 months while I was changing stuff. It's down to 3 now. I got this down to 40. It's up to 43. This was about 10%, 11% when I was working on it. It's down to 2.94%. Which ironically probably decreases a lot of our spending. I don't know why it's like that, though. Oh my god, our GDP per capita is down. Oh, this number's bugged. I thought I read this wrong. Yeah, that number's bugged. That's like the combined GDP per capita for all of our countries that I've taken over. But this is the actual amount. And this is what it actually was at the start of the game. Oh, speaking of fun bugs, we have even more now. I have a great bug to show you guys. Population growth. Do you see that number? Do you see what it was? Do you see this? Remember, every time I've taken over a country this entire playthrough, I have told you guys that population growth in this game is bugged. The moment you take over a country, your growth spikes. Usually because it's adding growth rates together. But this is just a whole nother level. What am I looking at? 11.8% population growth rate? That's not a one-off thing, by the way. That's a continuous thing. And this adjusts very slowly. First, we had a bug where we didn't have enough population growth because of immigration. And immigration's still shitty. It's barely positive. But now we have a bug where our population growth is so fucking high. 11.78%. That is at least 16 million new citizens a year. No other population in the entire world is growing that quickly. Look, you can see none. The United Arab Emirates has some crazy pop growth, but we have double theirs? More? The world average is tiny. It's insignificant compared to us. I cannot even begin to imagine what kind of terrible repercussions this will have on our playthrough. Guys, this playthrough is getting buggier and buggier, and holy shit, I'm amazed we're still going with it, with how much is going wrong. I am going to dismantle some of these right here. I don't like that they're here. Onshore wind and onshore wind. It's not that they're in bad locations. They're just not in good locations. I'm building one over here, I know. How much is it projected for? 1.435. Okay. So this is another good way to test this, by the way. So we're going to see if this goes down by a certain amount. But if this doesn't go down, and by the way, in case you don't remember what I'm talking about from the last episode, I found out that wind turbines are bugged and give way more energy than they're supposed to. If this goes down by 20 to 40, then we know that these pre-placed ones are bugged as well. And that onshore ones are as well. But it's not necessarily proving anything until we build our own and we see how much it increases by. At the very least, we know offshore is bugged and gives way more than it says it's going to give. So we're, of course, not going to cancel this. But I'm hoping that onshore is still just as bugged, because then we can start doing that instead of offshore because it's cheaper. Now, one big problem that Egypt has is it has way too many land bases. Just like we had way too many air bases, there's way too many land bases over here. And not enough air bases. Only one naval port for the entire fucking country. Which is really weird because I think we just got like 50 plus ships from them. Yet they based it all out of one naval port. Oh well, I had a bunch of empty ports anyway, so I guess I won't complain. But we do need to clear out a good chunk of all these bases here. I'm not quite sure where to start. What the hell is this? Some sort of monument. We got a lot of monuments from this most recent takeover. So let's go ahead and move everyone out of this base, MILB1, into Bilbays, the land base of Bilbays. Because we need to clear out some of these land bases, and realistically we need to build air bases so that we have proper protection. Also, it would be wise at this point, I think, to start completely revamping our military infrastructure, simply because, well, we can. We are officially starting to get to world superpower status. The only thing that is really holding us back is the fact that our equipment is entirely outdated. If I can get my budget perfectly under control, then we will have the funding, we will have the capability to really change the way our country looks. So it's not just a mess of expanding territory, but an actual unified infrastructure. However, that will take a lot of work, a lot of time, and a lot of money. These are also right next to each other, and let's be real, they don't need to be. There's no reason for a land base to be down here, especially. So we're going to take everyone out of MILB 14, and we're going to send them over to MILB 19. It would be nice if I could just allocate everyone in a single base to another base, like a mass migration order. But sadly, that is not possible. Oh look, another wind farm with military on it. I don't think these are producing as much as they say. I'm going to get rid of all their wind farms. I just find that the pre-placed ones don't do as well as the ones you place, because they don't seem to be bugged quite the same. So let's dismantle this military base. That's another one. This is also maybe a little useless. I mean, I like the placement of this one, not gonna lie. It's placed in between two air bases, still next to a border. This one just may not be needed. I may end up getting rid of this one. An air base around here would be good, but let's start with deconstructing before we start constructing. Here's another interesting little situation. Two military bases right next to each other in very unnecessary locations. We do have plenty of stuff over here, so I'm going to empty out MILB 2 and put them into MILB 11. Let's get MILB 11 propped up here. More than likely, I really do want to start to revamp our military, I don't know, not just infrastructure, but our equipment, just because of how much we can improve it now, and how much old crap we have, and how much new crap I want. But again, money. This is more on its own, so we're going to empty out MILB 17. I don't want any of these bases, like land bases, to be directly next to each other. We don't have any need for that. So I'd like to free up some money in the long run by dismantling some of these unnecessary bases, and then we can use that money to hopefully build up even new bases to get our country well fortified. We're also going to need to build more roads at this point. We have to see how our economy performs, though, after this integration. We have to let it settle in and really see what it does. Our debt has gone down percent GDP per capita almost by half, just because we've increased our GDP so much. Don't underestimate, guys. We are huge now. We are now the 9th most populated country in the world, and with this population bug, it's going to go up real quick. Real quick. In a few years, we will pass Bangladesh no problem. The rest of these countries, leading up to number 3 and including, are not growing nearly as fast as they need to outgrow us with this bug. China and India are safe. Oh look, India passed China. Yeah, India passed China. That's impressive. I think that's projected to happen in real life too, because China has a 2-child policy in real life. Not in this game, by the way, but in real life. India does not. Yes, we were number 95 in population at the start of the game. We had 8.69 million population. We now have 155, and we are number 9. Do not underestimate how much we've grown, even though it doesn't look like we've grown very much. We've come a long, long way, and while we may look tiny, with enough modernization, no European power except Russia can really rival us if we modernize our armies and build it up, which is exactly why that is one of my current goals. So I pulled this just in case. I want to get the working week back down to 40 hours. So I'm going to get that going through now as well, because that is just a more reasonable amount of time for employees to work, and it allows unemployment to stay lower. And since unemployment is still going up a little bit, before I start spending money, I'd rather do some other things. I'm perfectly happy with this complete lack of welfare that has resulted from taking over Egypt. I'm curious, has family allowances changed? No, those remembered to stay at nothing. I don't know if anything else is quite capable of being affected the way all that work-related stuff was. Another thing we need to look at after taking Egypt is we have acquired 3 new terrorist countries. A new rendition of the jihadist caliphate. We're definitely going to want to get rid of these guys. It shouldn't be too hard. How is our... Oh my god. Oh, our funding for everything has gone down so much after integrating Egypt. This is not going to be fun. Wow, is that really all it costs? Why is that so cheap right now? I don't know. Very odd. I guess it's not cheap. I guess we're just getting bigger, and now bigger numbers are looking smaller. I'm going to put 1 star into agent training. We're going to have to get this stuff back up, because we had it maxed out, and we keep losing it being maxed out every time we take over a new country like this. Anyway, the Israeli Patriotic Front is still a thing. We did dismantle it slightly recently, but not a crazy amount. It's also the Israeli Brigades of Islam. What the hell is this? Romania and Argentina for backers. So this was the Egyptian Bridges of Islam, I guess, before we took it over. Take a look at our religion. Woo! Ah, man, I wouldn't call this country Jewish anymore. Wow. I wonder if countries naturally lean towards the religion that's in charge in your country. Look at how many there are now. And Sunnite. Sunnite? I don't know how to say that. Is the largest one. Holy crap. So towards the end of the last episode, the leader of South Sudan wanted to meet with me, so let's meet with him. He just wants to trade. He wants to sell me water supply networks, which I was positive in, but after taking over the industry of Egypt, I guess Egypt had so much that relied on it, but not a positive amount. We are actually in the negative on a very, very important industry. The amount they want to sell me is insignificant. But let's see if we can go ahead and rip them off a little bit. So, 0.6. What? Purchase price you have offered for this good is considered as being too low. I mean, it's above their price, so maybe they're just a picky little bitch.
No thanks.
Fuck you, South Sudan. How do you feel about me? We're neutral. Well, I know you hate Sudan, and I will end up taking Sudan over if this playthrough doesn't bug out, but you're probably next, because you're a little shithead. No, they're not actually next. Really, I'd probably go after Eritrea sometime after Sudan. I'm also looking at Jordan and Saudi Arabia, kind of trying to fill this area in, maybe I'm thinking, before trying to ever take on Iran. Hide behind the wall that is Turkey, Iraq, and Kuwait, and U.S. really presence in two of these countries before ever trying to look at Iran, and we'd probably go through Iraq in order to do it. Again, that's a future thing, nothing that I really have to worry about right now. I find it so weird still that China and India both dislike me the same amount. All of Asia seems to dislike me anyway. But what are relations at this point when I've had so many bugs? What the hell is this? Military intervention against Egypt. Egypt doesn't exist anymore. Who are you going to intervene against? There's no one here. Oh great, there is a second Chinese nuclear submarine that is failing to get through the Suez Canal. The AI in this game is retarded. In my 2019 playthrough, so many troops got stuck at the Suez Canal that they literally started sailing underneath Africa. It was quite a thing. Oh no, that was my last playthrough. That was my Brazil playthrough. Oh man. Yep. Oh no, our electricity is higher than we need. What's it at? Oh wow, okay, so that went down a good amount. You see that? It's down to 223. I think that right there is our confirmation that on-land wind might be just as efficient as offshore wind. I do not regret tearing these down because I don't like their placement. But as of right now, we are still positive in terms of our overall power. But I do believe that this does show that onshore wind is just as bugged and produces way more than it says it does. Meaning we should probably just go ahead and build some more of that shit, yeah? This is assuming. Maybe it's just the pre-placed ones, I don't know. But if it works anything like it used to, I probably want to keep doing this. So I'm going to just keep placing these along the coast a little bit. I'm going to place another one. I'm not too worried about the price because, I mean, look at it. 1.7, almost 1.8 mil over 5 years. Offshore wind was almost 2. Hell, if I could get rid of all the offshore and make it all onshore, I'd be happy. Not that I really need to get rid of these. They're not taking up any valuable space. This is taking up space on land, which I guess could be undesirable. But there's nothing here that I want. There's nothing I want to put here. So I don't really have to worry about space, as opposed to solar, which literally clogged up my main province of Israel and didn't give me shit for what I was paying for it. I'm okay with using offshore. I'm okay with using onshore. Either way, they're going to generate me a large amount for very little money. I will probably continue using both, but I will probably focus on onshore here. Just a strip around here, maybe a gigantic plant for all I care. Now that I have a good place to put them, and now that I'm pretty confident that they are similarly bugged. Let's see what all this stupid pop-up shit is. So I am still getting told that I have reduced staff in education. I find this hard to believe, but then again, I don't really know. Wow, my spending in education is dog shit. You guys remember, I had all this shit maxed out. Egypt just turned my country into a backwater piece of shit, and that was a risk that I ran. mixing my country with theirs. Their country was a lot bigger than mine. So this was to be expected, which means all of the eternal work that we've done is pretty much gone at this point, which is probably part of why our budget is so good. We just got a free lowering of our budget. So let's see, what is our situation here? Number of teachers? I mean, the number of teachers has gone up, clearly. How is it not enough? Oh, that's how. Wow! So it used to be that we had one teacher per 10, 13 students. Now we have one teacher per 200 students. That's terrible. Oh man, that's awful. We have to fix that at some point. I'll tell you that much. We probably don't actually have enough buildings anymore either. It doesn't actually tell you that. It'll give you an alert occasionally, but it doesn't tell you. What the hell is this number? 1, 2, 3, that's hundreds. 1, 2, 3, that's thousands. 1, 2, 3, that's millions. That's billions. I have almost 6 billion higher education students, but I don't have 6 billion citizens. What the fuck? 3,706.85% of my population are higher education students? What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense at all. Guys, this game is breaking. I'm really crossing my fingers that these are just number bugs and that they're not going to destroy our playthrough. But I am overwhelmed by the amount of bugs that I have to look at every episode now. Ooh boy, so that economy is still really taking some time to adjust here, and our growth is almost non-existent right now. Our economic growth has gone down so much, and our unemployment is so high, so clearly we need to stimulate this bitch. I can accomplish that in a number of ways. From building turbines, for example, that generates some work. I can build more oil, that generates some work. I'm pretty big right now on wanting to build some oil, or just build things in general. Of course, a problem I'm having is just my budget. My budget deficit's going up because the growth is going down and more are getting unemployed, and also everything's still just settling in. Right now, it does look like we are getting a decent chunk of the deficit that Egypt had, so it's not as rosy looking as it was. I know one of their locations has 1, 2 oil wells in it. I believe just the 2. Oh, there's another one of these things down here. I'm going to leave that for now because that might put me under on energy if I delete it right now. But I'm going to get rid of that eventually, that little wind turbine, if I remember to. We have 2 oil wells here. So we're going to go ahead and see what this is placed on and maybe improve upon this a little bit. So we have 2. This is on very weak. And the fact that it has any oil at all means that it was placed there by the devs as a pre-placed thing that we would never be able to match. It doesn't look like there's any other oil here, so that's unfortunate. It's more unfortunate because there was another one that got destroyed during the war, I think. It's not on the map anymore, but it was right around here, I swear. Yeah, it was right around here. It was a destroyed oil well I saw, so there used to be a third one. Well, that's a shame that there's really nothing over here then, and the amount that this is producing now anyway is pretty low. Alright, let me just start with wind then. I've got to make sure to get this new electricity situation under control, and I do want to get fossil energy back down to where it was, aka about to hit 0. Let's start with the onshore wind. Hey, I won't really need to test it so precisely now if I do end up just getting so many of these onshore winds and I just see the power start spiking. It should become pretty obvious what is happening. Onshore wind. So what does this look like? Is this still good? Or is it more of a coastal thing? Or is it just the region, I guess? How far does this go? Oh, it goes for a good damn while. Alright, well, I'm just going to keep placing these down because they're cheap. They'll help stimulate the economy a little bit, and they'll help us fix our newfound energy situation. Oh great, just like oil wells, if you click this too quickly before the number fully adjusts, then the game freezes. I want to die. Alright, finally. Let's position another one. I don't really know how many to build, but I am deconstructing quite a bit, and I will need quite a bit. Maybe I want to get this to around 10. Yeah. So let's build another. Right here. I shouldn't really have to worry about building ports over here. Either way, ports are actually placed on the water, not on the land, so this positioning really isn't so bad. Alright, so this is looking good. I have 7 projected. I'm going to go until I have 10 projected. I feel like that's just the best thing to do. This is still good. Just got to make sure I don't want to build anything in the wrong locations. That's 8. Strangely enough, this can power the whole nation. I've always found it weird how building electricity in far-flung locations in this game can actually fund your electricity in other parts of your country. And the game froze again. I want to kill everyone. Don't take that as a threat. Unless I'm talking about you. You never know. Alright, here we go. That is also good. Perfect. So we have 10 of these projected. We're deconstructing some. We're building a fuck ton. But in, what is that, 90? No, 6. That's 6 months. We will have a fuck ton of these done. And then we will either have a ridiculous excess of energy, or we won't. And then I'll see maybe onshore isn't quite as bugged as offshore. But I'm just going to assume it is based on how much I've already lost by deconstructing certain onshore ones. I guess it worked both ways, huh? It certainly gives a lot, but it certainly takes a lot away as well. So with the interest of just building things to get the economy ramping up again, money aside, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to construct another air base. Israel. And I'm going to position it roughly... I already have one right there. I guess I could place it closer down here. Roughly around the center of this province. Just to provide some air power. I'm thinking of having a southern one and a northern one, maybe. That might be a little better. Currently deconstructing that there. Yeah, I think a southern one and a northern one might be good. So let's place one roughly right around here. That is an air base. That should come in handy. I'm still pretty confident we don't need this base, so I'm going to actually... Deconstructing technically is also economic activity, so that's good. That should help boost economy if I do continue deconstructing things, at least temporarily, while things are actively being deconstructed. Wow, there are just so many fucking things over here. We don't have enough land bases in everything we took except Egypt, and we just have too many and not enough air bases in Egypt. That's kind of annoying. Alright, so the terrorism isn't going so well. We're really going to need this just back up to max. So let's just raise that to max no matter what it costs. Price aside right now for anything and everything we are doing. It's just not as relevant. I got to get some more air bases set up no matter the price. And there is a price associated with this. So our coverage is not so perfect here either. I'm thinking putting one in the direct center of here so I can just kind of leave it be for now and then figure out if I need more later. I shouldn't. I'm going to place one right around the center, an air base. Let's see, go to Israel. And where else can we use one? Down here there isn't one. This is all one big province. Probably want it closer to being towards the border than further away. So let's place it right around here. There's another air base. And we don't have one over here necessarily, so I kind of want to fill that gap in a little bit. So let's go get another one. I'm spending so much money, I am definitely going to have to fix this shit. I'm not liking this base. I don't like that this is right here. I really don't like it. I like having an air base over here instead. But this isn't so terribly placed, if we're being honest. It could be placed a lot worse. But for now, let's put something towards the south of this location. How does that sound? Let's say right around here? Right around here. Yeah, that seems fine. Place another air base there. Alright, that's all the air bases I'm putting together for right now. Sure, let's attend Hanukkah. Turkish troop incursion. I'm getting so many of these stupid pop-ups. Yeah, Cyprus fleet. Turkish troop incursion. These things are literally like never gonna shut up. The game is going to spam me with this bullshit for the rest of the game. I can mark my response to it, but I can't stop it from showing up. It's going to pop up, and then it's either going to appear here and then stay there, or I have to click on it every single time. We have an available position, so I'm just going to guess that our foreign minister quit because we got kicked out of the International Monetary Fund twice. I'm just going to guess. No, you don't. Don't assign anyone for me. Where is it? So the cabinet. Oh no, it's the tourism. So he probably died, if we're being honest. There's probably someone that died. So let's assign someone from our party. Who should it be? Who's got some good popularity? You do. Yol Gordov. Congratulations. You look like me, but with a different hair color. Or style, too. Yeah, you're literally the same face as me. That's great. Anyway. Holy shit. This has been so much work just dealing with the consequences of taking over Egypt. I don't even know how much time has actually passed. Maybe only a month. There's so much we have to do. Our growth is still going down. There's a lot I can do to fix it. I'm not really going that heavy, but I definitely probably need to. So we're going to have a lot more of this stuff to deal with coming up, but it's already been a good 30 minutes. I tend to make these episodes 30 minutes, so thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this buggy hellhole of nonsense that's just dying more and more by the episode, and I'll see you guys on the next one.